Have you ever stayed up late at night, heart pounding over the outcome of a football match, placing heavy bets only to face disappointment time and time again? Have you ever wondered if there's some unspeakable secret lurking behind sports betting? Why is it always you who loses, while the house always seems to win? Today, we're diving deep to uncover the truth behind why you lose more than you win in sports betting, exposing the reality of this seemingly thrilling yet perilous game. Whether you're a casual fan who places the occasional bet or someone deeply entangled in the world of gambling, this script will lay it out in the bluntest terms. Why sports betting is almost guaranteed to leave you broke, and how to avoid falling into its carefully designed abyss. Cherish your life and stay away from gambling. The sports betting discussed in this video refers solely to regulated, fair betting activities conducted in legitimate settings. Underground gambling rings, shady bookmakers, pig butchering scams, or fraudulent schemes fall far outside the scope of legal betting and won't be covered here. The history of football betting stretches back decades, with the 1998 World Cup in France marking a global milestone. That year, betting companies feasted like never before, rolling out a dizzying array of betting options as the market exploded in size. Many of the industry giants we know today, like the UK's venerable William Hill, founded in 1934, dubbed the Premier League Compass, and Buin, once a sponsor plastered across Real Madrid's jerseys, seized the moment and skyrocketed to prominence. To understand today's world of sports betting, we need to rewind to what many veteran fans and gamblers consider the birth of modern football betting: the 1998 France World Cup. It was a turning point, a moment that transformed football betting from a relatively niche activity into a global frenzy. Before then, betting existed but was largely regional and formulaic. In the summer of '98, fueled by the early spread of the internet and the wave of globalization, betting companies unleashed an unprecedented spectacle for fans worldwide. The variety of betting options was endless, and the market ballooned at an unheard of pace. Giants like William Hill, with nearly a century of history and its Premier League Compass nickname, and Buin, whose logo once adorned Real Madrid's kits, rode that wave, leaping from regional players to global betting empires. In regions with deep football cultures like Europe and the Americas, football betting isn't some shady backroom deal. It's a mature, regulated, and massive legal industry. Its betting options have been refined to a level far beyond the average person's imagination of simply picking a winner. From basic win-draw-loss bets or handicap markets to total goals scored, to hyper-specific options like halftime/full-time scores, corner counts, red or yellow cards, or even whether a specific player will score and whether the first goal comes in the first or second half. For top-tier events like the World Cup or European Championships, betting companies offer hundreds of options, turning every tiny possibility into a bettable number. It's like a giant net, ensnaring every detail of a match to ensure there's always an opportunity to tempt you. Yet, in this seemingly open and free market, there's one ironclad rule no ordinary bettor can ever escape. You'll always be the punter, never the bookmaker. To manage risk, betting companies impose strict limits on individual accounts and single-match bets. This is partly for compliance, to prevent bettors from bankrupting themselves, but also a self-preservation tactic to avoid catastrophic losses from a single massive wager. In recent years, betting exchanges or interactive platforms have emerged, letting small-time punters play the bookmaker against others in a limited way. But compared to the real bookmakers, those towering entities calmly watching every bet from the other side of the table, these platforms are worlds apart in terms of capital, risk management, and information processing. The true bookmaker is the unshakable giant standing across the table, smiling as you place your bets. The bookmaker's control over odds isn't just a business. It's a precise art form blending mathematics, psychology, and data science. Their ability to predict the outcomes of Europe's top 5 leagues or major tournaments is often jaw-droppingly accurate, and their odds systems are practically watertight. Those odds, those seemingly simple numbers, are the sole determinant of whether you win or lose, live or die, in this game. After countless losses, many bettors start to wonder, if I always lose at sports betting, is it just a giant scam? Is there really no chance at all for us to win? The answer might disappoint you, but it's brutally honest. Winning isn't theoretically impossible, but it comes with a nearly unattainable condition. You'd need to think on the same level as the superbrain behind the bookmakers, a team of elite actuaries, financial mathematicians, supercomputer models, and seasoned odds makers. Your intellect, access to information, and emotional control would need to match theirs step for step. What does that mean? It means you'd need an almost superhuman understanding of football, knowing every team's tactical style, the physical and mental state of key players, historical head-to-head records, even the coach's in-game decision-making habits. You'd also need to decode the complex logic and market expectations baked into those cold odds numbers. And after doing all that work worthy of a professional analyst, you'd still need a pinch of perfectly timed luck to turn a profit. For the average bettor relying on gut feelings and instinct, this is a mission impossible. The reality is harsh. What do most bettors rely on when they hit that confirm bet button? Not rigorous data analysis or rational probability calculations, but a vague gut feeling, blind loyalty to their favorite team, or a hunch swayed by recent wins or losses. Going into a game built on precise mathematical models with that approach, the odds of success are predictably grim. So, do legitimate bookmakers pull any dirty tricks? From a legal and reputational standpoint, a regulated, major betting company typically won't resort to the blatant cheating or eat-all tactics of underground casinos, nor will they vanish with your money. Their business model doesn't require such low-life tactics to profit. But that doesn't mean the game is perfectly fair. In extreme cases, like an utterly unforeseen, earth-shattering upset that even the bookmakers' actuaries and oddsmakers didn't predict, threatening massive payouts, they might invoke special circumstances clauses in their terms of service, unilaterally canceling bets and refunding stakes. When that happens, bettors are left with little but anger and helplessness. You could try suing, but against a legal team specialized in such disputes, your chances are slim to none. More importantly, every gambler must see through one grand illusion: the fantasy of getting rich quick through sports betting. This is a truth proven by countless tragic stories. Even the rare few who, through luck or sharp judgment, make a tidy profit in one stretch will, if they don't walk away, inevitably give every penny back to the house, profit, principal, and all, often with crushing debt to boot. There's a classic saying in casinos, one every casino boss swears by: "We're not afraid of you winning. We're afraid you won't show up." This simple maxim lays bare the core logic of the gambling industry. The rules aren't designed to make you lose one bet or one day, but to ensure that, over a long enough timeline, as long as you keep playing, the ultimate winner is always the house. Let's look at a historical case from another field that vividly exposes the human weaknesses behind gambling and speculation, showing they have nothing to do with intelligence or knowledge. Rewind to 1720, when one of history's greatest scientific minds, Isaac Newton, got swept up in the speculative mania known as the South Sea Bubble. Initially, he invested £7,000, equivalent to 2,333 ounces of gold at the time, a fortune, and, with sharp judgment, doubled his money to £14,000. Emboldened by success, like any gambler riding a hot streak, Newton didn't cash out. Instead, he poured in an even larger £25,000, dreaming of bigger wins. But the market crashed without warning, plummeting 80%, and Newton lost £20,000, nearly wiped out. He left the market in disgust, famously lamenting, "I can calculate the motions of the heavens, but I cannot predict the madness of men." Newton's story delivers a cold truth. In the world of gambling and speculation, what determines your fate isn't how smart or knowledgeable you are, but whether you can overcome humanity's most primal, powerful drives, greed and fear. Now, let's dissect the root cause of losing more than winning in sports betting from the most rational angle. It's not about luck or mysticism. It's rooted in cold, hard mathematics. At the heart of betting are the odds, and behind the odds lies a perfect marriage of precise probability calculations and commercial profit. Bookmakers employ the world's top mathematicians, statisticians, and data analysts who use vast troves of historical match data, real-time team performance, player injuries, coaching tendencies, even matchday weather and pitch conditions, every possible factor influencing a game, to build incredibly complex models. These models don't just predict match outcomes. They dynamically adjust odds in milliseconds based on global betting flows, all to achieve one goal: ensuring the company locks in a preset profit margin, no matter the match result. This profit margin is known in the industry as the vig, juice, or, more formally, the house edge. Let's break it down with a simple, idealized model. Imagine a football match between two perfectly evenly matched teams, A and B, with no chance of a draw, so each has a 50% chance of winning. A fair bet would offer 2-to-1 odds, bet $1, win $2, including your stake. If you played 100 times, you'd theoretically win 50 times, lose 50 times, and break even. But bookmakers aren't charities. They subtly lower the odds, say from 2 to 1 to 1.9 to 1. Now, in those same 100 bets of $1 each, $100 total, you still win 50 times, but your payout is 50 times $1.90 equals $95. You've lost $5. That missing $5 is the VIG, the bookmaker's guaranteed cut, siphoned off every transaction. This is the house edge in its rawest form. No matter how you and another bettor wager against each other, the bookmaker is the toll booth, taking its share every time. In reality, football matches aren't just win or lose. Draws add complexity. With hundreds of betting options, each is meticulously designed with the same VIG mechanism to secure the house's long-term profit. A bettor might get lucky and win on 1 or 2 bets, but as you place more bets, the house edge compounds like a slow boil, eroding your funds. This brings us to a critical principle in probability theory, the law of large numbers. In plain terms, it says that as you repeat a random experiment, like betting, over time, the frequency of outcomes approaches their theoretical probability. Casinos and bookmakers are devout followers of this law. A casino boss doesn't need to know whether the next roulette spin lands on red or black. They know that over millions of spins, red and black will each appear roughly 50% of the time, and the green 0 and 0 pockets ensure a steady profit. Sports betting works the same way. Bookmakers don't need to predict the outcome of a single match. They trust that over thousands of bets, their VIG will grind out profit like an unstoppable mill. In the long run, this is a mathematical certainty, untouchable by any individual's skill or luck. Even legendary gambling gods like Edward Thorpe, who beat casinos at blackjack with card counting, only succeeded in a simpler game with exploitable flaws. In the far more complex world of sports betting, with its robust data models, even he couldn't dent the bookmaker's mathematical fortress. Now, let's address the psychological trap that drags countless people into the abyss. The deadly allure of one big win. Picture this: you bet $1 and lose. To win it back and make a profit, you double your next bet to $2. Lose again and you're down $3, so you bet $4 next. This chasing losses strategy, known mathematically as the martingale system, is a beautiful but deadly trap. If you hit a bad streak and lose 10 times in a row, your 11th bet to recover that original $1 would need to be $1,024, an exponential spiral that can obliterate your bankroll in no time. Worse, as we've shown, real-world betting odds are worse than 50%, and platforms cap your bet size, making it impossible to double indefinitely. The dream of one big win only accelerates your downfall. The gambler's psyche is a bundle of contradictions. They convince themselves they're the one in a million chosen by fate, chasing the euphoric rush and vanity of a quick fortune. Yet they're psychologically unprepared to handle even a moment's loss. When losses hit, frustration, regret, and humiliation flood in, obliterating reason, leaving only one thought: next bet, I'll win it all back. Macau's former gambling tycoon Stanley Ho once had a legendary exchange with Yi Han, dubbed the gambling saint, that captures the essence of the gambler's psyche. Worried, Ho asked, if bettors keep losing more than they win, and eventually stop coming, what will the casino do? Yi Han smiled calmly and replied, once a gambler, always a gambler. They're not afraid of losing everything. They're afraid the casino will close and leave them nowhere to bet. How biting, how true. For those trapped in its grip, gambling isn't just entertainment or a way to make money. It's a psychological addiction akin to a drug. They chase the adrenaline spike of placing a bet, the thrill of waiting for the outcome. It lets them briefly escape the mundane troubles of life. Gambling may look like a game about money, but it's a meticulously designed trap exploiting human weaknesses. What pushes people deeper into the abyss isn't just the bookmaker's cunning calculations. It's the bettor's own uncontrollable ignorance and greed. So, as an ordinary football fan, how should you approach the ever-present world of sports betting? The answer is simple. See it for what it is, engage sparingly, and never get hooked. Spend a few bucks on a lottery-style bet, cheer for your team, guess the score. It can add fun and engagement to watching a match. Treat it like the cost of a movie ticket or a beer. Lose and laugh it off, win and treat yourself to a nice meal. But draw an unbreakable line in your mind. Never see it as an investment, and never expect it to change your life or bring financial freedom. Whether you bet with the odds or against them, trust your own judgment or follow so-called experts. The dream of striking it rich through betting, owning that seaside villa, is nothing but a fleeting, mirage-like illusion. Once you grasp the math behind the odds and see the bookmaker's unshakable edge, you'll realize you're playing a game that's unequal from the moment the rules were set. Cherish your life, steer clear of gambling's abyss. Your life is far more exciting and meaningful than the outcome of any match.